taking it apart.
You gotta tell him I'm taking shit apart. See,
I do that all the time.
I know, you gotta give him shit.
Welcome to another episode on the LCR channel. All right, on a more serious note, we got some work done this week on the lovely firewall that you've probably seen like 3 or 4 times already, but this time it looks different. So we've got this pocket in here made for where our clutch master cylinder is going to be hanging out. It's also add some stiffness to the firewall. So this is all done. Just I've got to hit her with some cartridge wheel in there. Not the time for it right now. I got the hole and everything cut out for the steering column pass through. And then on a larger note, we got both halves welded together. So it's one piece now. And then on, I guess, the upper cowl, or this is the inner cowl, not the upper cowl. But we shaved the dip for the wiper motor. And this thing's just sitting here tacked in because we got a little bit of work to do on the wiper motor itself. And we got to build a pocket down here for the wiper motor to sit. So that's why it's all tacked in. Well, obviously I'm not going to fully weld something that I'm going to cut out again. I wouldn't do that on purpose, of course. But yeah, so on the firewall's basically ready to weld in. We just got to weld the floor pans in first. And then today we're going to be prepping the tunnel, getting the tunnel, everything fit and hopefully lined up and kind of ready to weld to this lip here. So this is something we did on this to add some stiffness. You can see it's not flimsy anymore. That's because we rolled the edge over and our weld seam is going to be about 1/4 inch in here. So if you come over here, I'll show you how we did that after I run into everything. So brought my inner woodworking out and we made this lovely piece of lumber. It's actually MDF. So 3/4 MDF, just made a buck here with a filleted edge, the same profile as the tunnel over there. And then basically just put it behind the firewall and then hammer form the edge over it. And that'll give us a nice stiff, straight-ish weld edge. And then we're also not welding in the corner, which tends to move metal a lot more. It's also harder to line up. So something we're trying on this piece. So far it's turned out very good. But yeah, so we're hoping to get this bad boy fitted in there today and maybe lining up in the front, but for sure lining up in the back. So on this piece here, this is why you keep your junk around. So this is the old tunnel that was too big, but the thing is the back section here is exactly the same as the tunnel over there. So basically we're just making a ring here to go on the inside, and you see it's clecoed in. This is going to weld to the chassis itself in the car, and then the tunnel is going to lay over top. So this basically just locates and gives us a flange to weld the back side here to inside the car. So I'll show you right here. This might be too much showing because you'll see it later anyways, but we've got this hump welded in the back of the car. So just right over here. And then, oh, lovely humps. And yeah, so it's just gonna weld onto there. So when the tunnel goes over top, then it locates it from moving like this, side to side of the car. So yeah, here we go.
Say it the exact same way.
What? What, now I got to relentlessly beat the shit out of it because it's kind of in the wrong spot? Oh. We're going on version 2.2 of the tunnel soon. Dialing in the tunnel here. You're really not supposed to look here because mistakes were made, but they've been remedied. So it'll be undercover for most of the time. Anyways, so this thing, we're getting ready to slice the front off again, unfortunately, and retry to make this, or I might be able to rework this one. We don't know yet. But I'm just digging out, use a carbide burr, just dig out where the seat mount bracket bolt holes are gonna be. And then this piece all the way up to here should be good to go. And then inside the car, we sectioned the floor pans now to final width. So that's where they're gonna be for good. That's the final edge. And then now the trans cross member clears, so we welded up, I don't know, a week ago. So tranny's ready to sit down on there, and then comes to making motor mounts out here. So we'll just keep working on the tunnel today, because that is the only job. How are we fitting? We are not. Guess what? We're not changing anything, and we're just gonna make it fit. So. So we're back on the tunnel. It looks like after we cut this off, we got a good chance of using it yet. Really, I shouldn't have welded it on, so that was my own problem. But we got it kind of fitting the tipped flange here on the firewall. So right now it's just lapped over there, it's lapped over here. So basically what we're gonna go ahead here and do is scribe my line where this is supposed to meet up, and then I'm gonna scribe my line here after we get this thing tacked in place, and then we'll see, you know, just how close we are and see what we got to work with here. So, all right, so the conclusion of this video is going to be that we're not actually doing any more work because there's a lot of work to do. So what we determined for the day over here is before this section gets welded in, it is fitting fairly good. It needs some trimmage yet. But what we're gonna do is actually weld all the floor pans in, weld this section of the tunnel in, because we're at that point right now. And then we can get the firewall attached on the upper edge there. And then after that's done, then we'll fit this piece, and then we'll weld this in when it's in the car. It just minimizes stuff moving around. It's easier to fit. And then, I don't know if it's the right way to do it, but it's how I'm gonna do it. So, yeah, tune in next week where we might actually have all this stuff welded. Thanks for watching, and just make sure, like, comment, and subscribe to this awesome channel for more of this great Tech Tip Tuesday action on Monday.